Hi everybody, I'm Howard Kellman. I work with organizations that want high energy, humorous, and inspirational programs which are drawn from my life in sports. Well, Ken Griffey Sr. played for the Indianapolis Indians and was very determined to get to the big leagues. And then he went on and played 17 years in the major leagues, a terrific career. Well, he was playing for the Indianapolis Indians in right field one day. This was in Wichita, Kansas, and it was a day game, and it was very sunny. Clear skies, sunshine, and George Foster was playing center field. And those two would play a few years later for the World Championship Cincinnati Reds teams. Anyway, Griffey described it. Pat Burke, who was a big, strong right-hand batter, swings, and he hits the ball, and Griffey said, "I got a really good jump." And I started running to right center field. And as I was running, I looked and I saw George Foster laughing so hard while he was lying on the ground. Now I'm really confused, he said. I looked into the right field corner, and our second baseman, Junior Kennedy, was picking up the baseball. I ran in the opposite direction of where the ball was hit. He said, now I was really puzzled. Meanwhile, Foster is still lying on the ground, laughing so hard he can't get up. I said, "George, what's going on?" Griffey said. Foster said, "Ken, you ran after a bird, not after the ball." Griffey said they didn't make sunglasses very good in those days. The Indianapolis Indians are a AAA ball club, and we see players go to the major leagues. It's a special feeling for all of us to see them get there. The one thing that every ball player remembers is the first time he comes to bat in the major leagues. It is truly a special moment. Well, there was a man named John Young who was a career minor leaguer, and he got a chance to go to the big leagues finally with the Detroit Tigers. And boy, was he proud. He put on that Tiger uniform. Just a great, great feeling. All those years in the minor leagues, and he finally made it to the big leagues. And in the 8th inning, his first night with the Tigers, their manager, Billy Martin, said, "John, grab a bat and pinch hit." John's first time up in the major leagues. Of course, there's going to be some anxiety. His knees are shaking as he stands in from the left side. He's trying too hard. He swings at the first pitch, grounds out to third base. He's out. The Tigers lose, and he is dejected. Well, he's seated at his locker in the Tigers clubhouse after the game. He has his head down and just very, very distraught. Leave it to one of the veteran players, Gates Brown, to approach him. And Gates walks over to John and puts his shoulder on him. And John thought, how wonderful this is. One of the veterans is going to make me feel better. And John looked up at Gates. And John smiled. And Gates, as he put his arm around John, said, "Son, don't feel bad. It's not your fault. You had no business being up there anyway." It's wonderful to be here with you, and I draw a lot of my inspiration from sports. My life has been in sports as a broadcaster. John Wooden said, "Make each day your masterpiece." When I was a kid growing up in the 1960s, I had a lot of admiration for the great football coach Vince Lombardi. I think we all can live by his defining words. He said, "I will demand a commitment to excellence and to victory, and that is what life is all about." I love those words. They are not win at all cost. They simply mean give it your very best and then some. My buddy Floyd Weitzel was selling Fuller Brush door to door. He knocks on this one woman's door. She answers it. As she opens the door, she screams at Floyd. She yells at him, and she slammed the door in his face and said, "Don't you ever come near this house again." That's rejection. Floyd Weitzel notices a side door to that same house. He knows that if he knocks on that door, the same woman will answer it. And the question I put to all of you, how many of you would knock on that side door after what just happened to you at the front door a moment ago? Not too many, I don't think. Well, Floyd Weitzel has courage. It might be even a stronger word than that, but he has courage. Floyd Weitzel knocks on that side door. The same woman answers it. She's all set to scream at him and yell at him again. Before she does, he quickly says, "Boy, I hope you're nicer than the woman at the front door. She was really nasty." The woman broke up laughing, invited him in, and bought everything he had to sell. I share the story with you for a few reasons. Number one, about overcoming objections. If you're truly a terrific salesperson, the word no means not yet. And that's what it did to Floyd Weitzel. The other thing is this. All of us will be in a tight spot from time to time. And the lesson here is, when you're in a tight spot, you can totally disarm somebody with your sense of humor. And that's exactly what Floyd Weitzel did. He disarmed that woman. It all starts with enthusiasm. As the great Emerson said, the world belongs to the energetic. Product knowledge is number two. And the number three thing is listening skills. Friends, when you're talking, you're performing. But when you're listening, you're building a relationship. Jim Fregosi was a terrific player, later became a manager. And he was playing with the California Angels. He was a shortstop, played in the big leagues, an all-star. This one Saturday night, while Jim was playing with the Angels, after the game, he went to a bar, as ball players have been known to do. He met a woman at the bar, and they were having a wonderful conversation. And after a while, he smiled at her, and he said, "Would you like to leave with me?" And she smiled, and she said, "Yes, I would. And I'd like you to take me to midnight mass." He's like, "What?" He said, "That's not what I had in mind. But if you insist on going to midnight mass, we'll go to midnight mass." So they went to midnight mass. She dropped him off at the Angels Hotel afterward. The very next day, the baseball game begins, and Jim Fregosi comes to bat in the first inning. He's standing in the batter's box, and the first pitch thrown to him is right down the heart of the plate. However, the umpire, Ed Hurley, did not call it a strike. Well, Jim Fregosi could not believe his good fortune. A pitch right down the middle was called a ball, so he turned to Ed Hurley and he said, "Thank you, Ed." And Ed Hurley said, "No, thank you for taking my daughter to midnight mass." Friends, I would like to say this to you. Please remember, life is a gift. Treasure it. Make the most of it. Don't settle to be good. Anybody can be good. You owe it to yourselves to be the very best that you can be. Thank you very much.